Kelowna is one of the most alluring cities in Canada with its breathtaking scenery. Unfortunately, the Okanagan's biggest threat to its beauty is
the Okanagan fire,
the out-of-control fire, wildfire.
McDougall Creek fire threatens a growing number of neighborhoods in West Kelowna.
What you just saw were clips from last year's Okanagan Wildfires that destroyed over 189 homes and evacuated over 1,000 people from their homes. This cost the city over $585 million in fire prevention and suppression efforts. This is why there's a need for more accurate and timely fire prediction systems within the Okanagan region.
Currently, the government employs a multi-tiered approach. Satellite imagery provides broad-scale monitoring, which detects initial outbreaks. On the ground, trained personnel use advanced tools like drones and infrared cameras to assess fire behavior and strategize containment. Furthermore, other integrated systems gather data from weather stations, aiding in predictive modeling to anticipate fire spread. However, this often results in outdated data, which might not be beneficial to the fight against wildfires. This shortcoming is caused because gathering real-time data is interpreted as time-consuming and costly by the governing bodies.
This is our stakeholders plot. Investors are a more opportunistic stakeholder of ours as they have a large amount of power within our graph. An example of this is TELUS's Pollinator Fund, where they've invested $100 million into wildfire protection and prevention technologies and innovations. Okanagan residents have a low amount of power but a high amount of interest in wildfire protection and prevention, as they want to keep their homes and families safe and away from wildfire risk. Firefighters also have a high amount of interest in wildfire protection and prevention, as they want to be safe while fighting wildfires. They also have a fair amount of power within the community. Governing bodies is a key stakeholder of ours, as they have the highest amount of interest and the highest amount of power within our graph. This is because of the countless resources they've provided to Okanagan regions to fight wildfires, including investments into technologies and innovations to do so.
We were tasked with creating a novel solution within the constraints of each pot having a maximum size of 250 centimeters cubed and a budget of only $100. Our goal was to push beyond current innovations, developing a robust product capable of accurately and rapidly detecting wildfires while remaining intuitive for users to navigate and understand the risks in their areas.
After creating all the constraints, thinking about scale, and researching similar projects, we had a vision for what we wanted to make. This model accurately represents that vision. Enclosed in this model is a rotating tool holder, hinged door, electrical box, holes for sensors to come through, and a solar panel to power the whole thing off the grid. Here, have a look for yourself. This is our base Arduino code. It packs sensor data into a payload format for insertion into our database. And this app takes the raw payload and translates into data value that can be placed into our database. This is also where we calculate fire risk and normalize sensor data into scales. Our database serves as the backbone of our system. Not only can it be made publicly available for third-party apps and system development, but it's also where we retrieve our data and check for alerts. Now let's take a look at our web app in action. Here you can see various data values and their corresponding fire risks. These examples are on the extreme side of things. And now, here's some more tame values that reflect what you see on a day-to-day basis. Lastly, here's all the code that powers the web app.
After all that brainstorming, modeling, and creative thinking, let me present to you what we've come up with, the Sylvan Fire Post. This state-of-the-art monitoring tool will be able to predict fires before they start and alert the proper authorities. It will also collect valuable data on the conditions of forests and any active wildfires. Housed inside this fireproof chassis are several sensors, including a CO2 gas sensor, a humidity and temperature sensor, and a soil moisture sensor. These sensors relay information to our database, and together, a specified algorithm can generate a fire risk and send alerts if needed. But it doesn't end there. This will also serve as an outpost for any city workers, including firefighters, RCMP officers, and conservation officers. It will house vital tools like McLeod tools, rakes, and shovels, as well as ropes and medical supplies. With the ability to act before any fires start, the threat to property and forests is no longer a concern.
It's time to adapt, change, and evolve the way we approach fire suppression and fire prevention efforts. For far too long, we waited for fires to make their first move, destroying our beautiful forest, our beautiful city, and wrecking our lives. It's time to choose Sylvan Fire Post to save lives, save our communities, and protect our way of life.